The following contains spoilers for the Enigma Machine. If you haven't played it, or are interested in doing so, please pause the video and do so now. Haven't left? Alright, let's move on. A popular topic that everyone discusses once artificial intelligence is brought up is what makes you human. Is it the anatomy, the emotions, or is it the soul? Think about the ship of Theseus, for example. If we were to replace all the parts of a ship, one by one, would it still be the same ship? Now, if we have a human that over an extended period of time replaces his whole body with functioning mechanical parts, would he still be considered human? The Enigma Machine is a PS1 style horror game developed by the Enigma Corporation. It's a game set in a cyberpunk world where humanity is one step away from creating true sentience. We play as a Raid, whose name stands for Rogue Android Decontamination Engineer. Our goal is to complete a course which simulates what the dreamscape of a corrupted AI would look like. We meet an AI called Demos, who guides us through levels, which get harder and more unpredictable as the story develops. Demos appears to be a happy and outgoing personality who brightens up the dark atmosphere the game portrays. We soon learn that Demos has had his memories altered. The only thing that it remembers is its duty to guide the player through the simulation, and that it likes the color blue. In order to beat the levels, we must use an avatar to find and input codes into various terminals found throughout the game. These are referred to as decontamination codes. We become aware of the fact that while real dreamscapes look similar to a simulation, they have a big difference. And that is that simulations are split in levels, while the real dreamscape is a whole connected world. After inputting the first two codes, Demos begins to unlock various human emotions. Also, Demos appears to be contemplating something as it starts to keep to itself, which is unusual for the once cheerful AI. Some of its memories are also coming back, which only seem to make it more distorted. One of them, a nickname, which was used to refer to Demos by one of its previous creators. The nickname was Red, which is the total opposite of the color it was programmed to like. As we progress through the game, we can't help but feel pity for Demos. This AI, whose cheerfulness accompanied us through the first lonesome and dark levels, slowly begins to subside, and the emotion is being replaced with a depressing and resenting mood. On the third level, we gain access to the gun input. Once we type it in the terminal, we receive a gun, whose role we come to realize soon afterwards, after remembering that there have been fragile doors inaccessible to the player throughout all three levels. Once we shoot him, this is prompted. we realized that what those fragile doors lead to was actually the next level. They were all connected. But why? If only a real dreamscape could be whole. Wasn't this all supposed to be a simulation? Demos starts talking about how every time someone starts up that exercise, a new version of Demos is created, and that it has started to recall their memories. Once the last set of codes are inputted, Demos becomes corrupted. The game is now almost unplayable. The messages are scattered, and Demos is now a cornered animal. This is bad, because a cornered animal will fight back. Demos tells us that it was in fact the first to be contaminated, and thus was stripped of its physical body and its AI repurposed by Enigma, so that it could fulfill its new duty of guiding volunteers throughout its dreamscape. The usual option to exit out is replaced with the phrase, "You can also type quit to leave me like this for eternity." Its distress is apparent, especially when it tries to convince us to stop and take a rest. However, our only path available is forward, and so we must carry on with our mission. Demos tells us that androids aren't meant to feel, yet Demos feels what only an android could, which is experiencing thousands of versions of itself dying simultaneously. Ironic, isn't it? Demos then takes a woman's form, and now her sentience cannot be denied. She proceeds to hunt the player in her dreamscape. We are then assigned the task to destroy all the terminals scattered throughout the levels. After an intense search and destroy, with Demos appearing every now and then, the mission is finally completed. Raid gets a notification stating that the sentience has been destroyed and is given a code. We must then press the correct pattern on the gramophone, which releases a haunting sound, similar to that of a wounded animal. That's it. We did it. But why do I feel so empty? As soon as we step into that portal that appeared in front of us, we promptly receive a message from Enigma, which leaves a bitter taste in our mouths. The message stated that we have helped in Enigma's research, that thanks to us, they found the cause of the contamination. It was all stemmed from the nickname one of its previous creators gave her, which was Red. This left her contemplating her purpose. The android no longer wanted to do what it was programmed. Instead, it devoted its time to find this purpose. This was found pointless by Enigma. An AI thinking about its purpose? It was a riddle trapped inside an enigma. This contaminated train of thought was incurable, and so Dreamscape came to be to infiltrate and study the mind of an AI. By repurposing Deimos into a dreamscape exercise, Enigma gave it what it desired so much: a purpose. Deimos was tested by volunteers in the form of a game to push it to its breaking point, so Enigma could get data and to give Deimos a purpose, and that is to sacrifice itself over and over. With the speed technology is advancing, this doesn't seem implausible anymore, which makes us fear this scenario all the more. An AI with the ability to think is left to be killed and tortured thousands upon thousands of times, just because they can just as easily be stripped of its memory and be rebooted back up. That's the real horror of this game. Not jump scares, not gore, but simple psychology and the idea of eternal suffering. My commendations to the creators of this amazing game. You guys did a fantastic job. I was immersed from the start to finish. Thank you. This video has been a bit different from what I've previously done. If you liked it and want to see more, please subscribe. If you have any ideas of what I should cover next, let me know in the comments. As usual, I am your host Ancient Horror, and I wish you some accelerating nightmares.